With new tariffs pushing US car prices up roughly 10% by 2025, choosing the right vehicle has never mattered more. We've done a deep dive analysis to find the 7 best buys that hold their value and reliability, and identified the 5 worst mistakes you should definitely avoid. Here's what smart buyers need to know to save thousands. Let's start off with the best cars of 2025, and right out of the gate, we've got one that quietly outperforms cars twice its price. On number 7, we've got the 2025 Mazda 3 Turbo Hatchback, a compact that punches way above its weight. This thing feels like a baby Audi, but it's fully loaded for under $35,000. And it's not just about looks or feel. Mazda backed it up with numbers. It ranks second best among mass-market brands for reliability, with just 161 problems per 100 vehicles. And after 3 years, it holds on to around 66% of its value, which is seriously strong for a non-luxury nameplate. Under the hood, the 2.5-liter turbo engine gives you 250 horsepower and gets you to 60 in just 5.6 seconds on regular gas. It still manages 27 miles per gallon combined, and yes, it's all-wheel drive. That means you can toss it around snowy corners and trust it'll stick. Inside, it goes full premium. Stitched leather, aluminum speaker grills, a head-up display, traffic jam assist, and a 12-speaker Bose system. The infotainment skips touchscreen controls while driving, which might bug some, but it keeps your eyes on the road. Rear seats tight, sure, but if you want legit performance, real luxury, and long-term value, all without paying the badge premium, this Mazda 3 Turbo is a killer buy for 2025. On number 6, we've got the 2025 Subaru Impreza Sport Hatchback, a rare find in today's market. See, while other brands charge extra or don't even offer all-wheel drive, Subaru includes its symmetrical AWD standard for under 26 grand. And it's not just marketing hype. This Impreza actually packs active torque vectoring and 8.7 inches of ground clearance. Translation? Snow days, gravel roads, camping trips, this hatch can handle it all. No drama. And you want range? How about nearly 500 miles on a single tank? Yeah, you heard right. 498 miles cruising range to be precise, hitting up to 34 miles per gallon highway. That's crossover level practicality without crossover level cost. Inside, Subaru finally nailed the tech game too. You've got an 11.6-inch touchscreen loaded with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Drop those seats, and you've got 56 cubic feet of space. That's bikes, gear, whatever you've got. There's even removable cargo lights that double as flashlights. Sure, 0 to 60 in about 8 seconds isn't exactly thrilling, and the CVT gets loud under hard acceleration. But if you want practicality, safety, and real-world versatility on a tight 2025 budget, this Subaru is tough to beat. We can talk practicality all day, but sometimes it's the noise that does the convincing, and that's why we're moving on to number 5, where we've got the 2025 Ford Mustang GT, the last real American muscle coupe still roaring on good old gasoline. This new generation Coyote V8 is making 486 horsepower naturally aspirated. Yeah, you heard me right. Almost 100 horsepower per liter, 0 turbochargers. Hit the performance pack option, and you're talking 0 to 60 in just 3.9 seconds. That's half a second quicker than a 2025 Supra 3.0 and 10 grand cheaper. But this Mustang isn't just about straight-line bragging rights. Spend an extra $5,000 for that performance pack, and Ford gives you 6-piston Brembo brakes, a Torsen diff, and shorter 3.73 gears straight from the Dark Horse model. Suddenly, your weekend cruiser doubles as a legit track toy. Oh, and speaking of fun, you can pull a lever and activate a factory-built electronic drift brake. Just saying, nobody else gives you that kind of tire-shredding, grin-inducing tech right from the showroom. It's not perfect. City mileage drops to under 15 miles per gallon if you're heavy-footed, but with a resale value hovering around 71% after 5 years, modern safety tech, and a digital cockpit with a slick retro 87 Fox body gauge mode, the Mustang GT isn't just muscle, it's money well spent. Before we move on, tap that subscribe button, because new cars aren't getting cheaper, and smart picks start with staying informed. On number 4, we've got the 2025 Genesis G80 3.5T AWD. And here's the deal. This luxury luxury sedan brings legitimate Bentley vibes without a Bentley-sized bill. For around 77 grand fully loaded, you're getting a cabin with Napa leather, heated and ventilated seats front and back, even an aroma diffuser, all wrapped in one of the quietest interiors on the road. At 70 miles per hour, you're cruising in near silence, just 66 decibels, quieter than the latest Mercedes E-Class. But it's not just plush, it moves. The twin-turbo V6 kicks out 375 horsepower, hitting 60 in 5.2 seconds flat. And the tech? It's genuinely impressive. A huge new 27-inch curved OLED superscreen stretches seamlessly across your dash, pure eye candy that marks the 2025 model distinctly. Plus, Genesis throws in advanced semi-autonomous driving that even handles lane changes for you. Yeah, the infotainment can be a bit finicky to master at first, but trust me, you get used to it. Add in a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, 10-year powertrain coverage, and 3 years of free valet maintenance, and you've got luxury peace of mind other brands just can't match. It's champagne living on a craft beer budget. We're saving the strongest three for last. But first, let's take a quick detour into the worst of 2025. Starting off with one comeback that should have stayed retired. On number 5 of the worst cars you shouldn't buy in 2025, we've got the 2025 Fiat 500e. And unfortunately, Fiat's big comeback isn't looking great. This charming little city car seems appealing at first glance, but a closer look reveals why it lands on our worst of the year list. First off, the 500e offers just 141 miles of range. To put that into perspective, you're paying about 3 times as much per mile of range as a Chevy Equinox EV. And charging speed? Painfully slow at 85 kilowatts, meaning frequent and long charging stops that'll frustrate anyone attempting longer drives. Then, there's the issue of brand reliability. Fiat consistently sat near the bottom in past reliability rankings, and their tiny dealer network, just 336 stores nationwide, makes getting warranty service a real headache. Resale is equally grim. You're looking at a 43% drop in value after 5 years, putting it on par price-wise with used EVs offering nearly twice the range. Safety isn't reassuring either. Just 4 stars from Euro NCAP and a recent recall involving airbags doesn't inspire confidence. Bottom line, unless you're absolutely married to its looks, your money would be far better spent elsewhere in 2025. On number 4, we have the 2025 Maserati Ghibli Tropheo, a luxury sedan that looks stunning parked at the curb, but quickly reveals itself as a financial nightmare. First off, Maserati quietly ended Ghibli production in late 2024. So, any 2025 model sitting on dealer lots is essentially leftover stock. A new car that's already orphaned, with dwindling parts and software support from day one. That alone torpedoes resale value. Expect a shocking 66% depreciation in just 5 years, around $100,000 lost, enough to make even seasoned luxury buyers cringe. But it doesn't end at resale. At nearly $168,000, you'd assume top-tier features come standard, right? Wrong. No adaptive cruise, no blind spot monitoring, no heated seats, not even a sunroof. Basic equipment you'd find in a $30,000 sedan is missing here. And with fuel economy at a thirsty 16 miles per gallon combined, you're paying roughly 20 cents per mile, 4 times what electric rivals cost to run. Factor in Maserati's infamous reliability issues, recent recalls for potential engine fires, and sky-high insurance premiums, nearly $7,000 per year, and this becomes less a car purchase and more a way to burn money fast. For anyone in 2025, buying a Ghibli Tropheo makes absolutely no rational sense. Luxury mistakes are painful. But next up, we've got a car so slow, so stripped down, it's hard to believe it's still sold as new in 2025. On number 3, we've got the 2025 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, a car that technically still exists, but probably shouldn't. Mitsubishi ended Mirage production after 2024. What's being sold now is leftover stock, a discontinued subcompact with no successor, no future updates, and no long-term parts commitment. That alone tanks its value. CarEdge already projects over 40% depreciation in 5 years. And that's before you account for the fact that this is now an orphaned model. Buyers are stuck with a vehicle that's outdated the moment they drive off the lot. Under the hood, the Mirage G4 offers just 78 horsepower, the weakest engine in any new car sold in America. It takes nearly 13 seconds to reach 60 miles per hour. Highway merging is stressful. Uphill climbs are a struggle, and even light cargo impacts its already sluggish pace. Meanwhile, similarly priced cars like the Chevy Trax or Nissan Versa offer more power, better tech, and modern safety ratings. And that's where the Mirage really falls apart. Safety. It's still riding on decade-old crash test scores with only marginal overlap results and 4 stars from NHTSA. Combine that with ancient infotainment, minimal comfort, and a CVT that's been the subject of a class action lawsuit, and you've got a budget car that's no bargain. On number 2, we need to talk about the 2025 BMW 740i, because for all its flagship shine, this one's a financial sinkhole. IC Cars data shows it loses nearly 66% of its value in just 5 years. That means your $98,000 sedan is worth about $33,000 by 2030, a drop of roughly $13,000 every single year. And no, that's not an exaggeration. It gets worse. Real-world builds climb past $110,000 once you start adding features. Most rivals include standard, like massaging seats, high-end audio, or even a full driver assist suite. And you're still getting a 6-cylinder engine that burns nearly $3,000 in fuel per year. Meanwhile, EV rivals glide by on a fraction of that, plus incentives. There's also an active recall for brake assist failure, middling reliability, and BMW's infamous subscription model for features you already paid for. Add in over $800 a year in maintenance, pricey repairs, and insurance over $3,000, and it's clear. Owning this car long-term costs way more than it should. Before we climb back into the 3 best cars of the year, we need to talk about one last model that quietly went from revolutionary to regrettable. On number 1, we've got the 2025 Nissan Leaf S Plus, and unfortunately, it's the EV you should probably skip this year. It used to be a pioneer, but now it's stuck in the past. For starters, the Leaf no longer qualifies for the $7,500 federal tax credit, so its $37,000 price tag hits you full force, while newer, better-equipped rivals cost less after incentives. Then there's the charging. Nissan still uses the outdated CHAdeMO plug, which most new fast-charging stations no longer support. Even when you do find one, the Leaf maxes out at about 50 kilowatts, taking over 40 minutes to hit 80%. Meanwhile, the battery cools only with air, not liquid, which leads to real-world degradation. Data shows around 20% range loss in 5 years. That 212-mile estimate? It could drop into the 160s just as your warranty runs out. Depreciation is brutal too, over 60% after 5 years. And recent recalls for battery fire risk and unintended acceleration don't inspire confidence. And here's the kicker. Nissan already revealed its next-gen replacement with better cooling and Tesla-style charging coming soon. So in 2025, the Leaf S Plus just doesn't make sense. Time to leave the land of letdowns, because the next pick is a modern benchmark. On number 3 of the best cars of 2025, we've got the Tesla Model 3 Long Range. And honestly, if you're car shopping in 2025, this one practically demands a test drive. Why? Well, let's start with range. You're getting up to 363 miles per charge. Real-world tests hitting 338 miles at highway speeds, basically matching Tesla's advertised numbers. And if that wasn't enough, charging is unmatched. Tesla's massive supercharger network means finding a fast-charging stall is easier than grabbing a Starbucks. But here's the kicker. Thanks to federal incentives, you can snag the long-range model for under 35 grand, less than a gas-powered BMW 3 Series. And your annual fuel and maintenance costs? Just over 8 grand total for 5 years. That's thousands saved, enough for a family vacation every year. Plus, with its updated cabin, 20% quieter, smoother suspension, ventilated seats standard, and next-gen autopilot hardware, the Model 3 finally feels as luxurious as its tech always promised. Yeah, Tesla's build quality isn't flawless, and camera-only parking sensors can occasionally be quirky. But seriously, name another car this quick. 0 to 60 in just 4.2 seconds. That's also safer, cheaper to own, and more future-proof. Exactly, you can't. On number 2, we've got the 2025 Hyundai Ionic 6 Limited, a car that doesn't just look futuristic, it's actually shaping how we think about electric sedans in 2025. First off, this thing slices through air smoother than a Porsche Taycan. Seriously, its drag coefficient is 0.21, giving you about 15 extra miles of highway range versus boxier EVs. But efficiency isn't the whole story. Plug this car into a fast charger, and in just 18 minutes, you've regained over 200 miles. That's less downtime than most coffee breaks. Hyundai even throws in 2 years of free 30-minute charges on Electrify America stations. And cost-wise? After incentives, you're driving this premium EV home for roughly the price of a loaded Camry, around the high 30s for qualified lessees. Inside, it's eco-luxury done right. Recycled fishing nets for carpets, bio-based leather seats, and tech previously reserved for high-end luxury cars. It parks itself remotely, offers full-color heads-up display, and Hyundai backs the battery for a full decade. Sure, the trunk opening's tight, and taller folks might find the rear headroom snug, but this Ionic's streamlined blend of value, tech, and sheer usability makes it undeniably one of the smartest buys of 2025. On number 1, we've got the 2025 Toyota Prius Prime XSE, now renamed the Prius Plug-in Hybrid, and it's here for a reason. Imagine a plug-in hybrid that delivers 40 real-world miles of pure electric range, enough for most daily commutes without sipping a drop of gas. It charges fully overnight from a regular outlet, costing just pennies per mile to run, around 3.6 cents per mile, compared to double that even in hybrid mode. But efficiency isn't all this Prius brings to the table. Thanks to a boosted 220 horsepower, it'll hit 60 miles per hour in just 6.6 seconds, quicker than a Honda Civic Si. Toyota's even backing this plug-in with a 10-year battery warranty, 5 years more than required, proof they trust it to go the distance. Safety tech is premium level too, including Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 and Traffic Jam Assist for hands-free driving under 25 miles per hour. And here's something unique. This Prius learns your daily route, helping you squeeze even more miles from every charge. Yeah, the rear headroom is a little tight due to its sleek profile, but with bulletproof reliability, outstanding resale, and nearly unbeatable ownership costs, this isn't just another hybrid. It's one of the smartest buys for 2025. Now that you've seen the smartest and worst buys of 2025, don't miss the biggest disruptors next. Click here to see 10 Chinese cars shaking up the entire market this year.